Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have a treat for you today. Today, we actually have our first podcast with multiple guests. Today, we actually have the boys from Pack 'em Out Apparel, also the Western Hunt Fest, Jeffrey DeVaul, and Efren Gonzalez. Thank you both very much for, of course, coming on the podcast. Today, they're going to share some great stories with us, mostly about their kids and the amazing 2022 season that they've had, and then some other, mistakes that have been made and other fun stories that have happened in the past. So, again, thank you very much to Jeff and Efren. I can't thank you both enough, but for now, let's let the Pack 'em Out boys go ahead and tell you their stories. All right, guys. Welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. How you boys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So this is unique. I told you guys you're the first duo to come on the podcast. So we're gonna see if
always
together. I'll admit to that. I've seen you guys in person a couple times, and you're always holding hands. It's crazy.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. Or spooning.
All right, well, cool. Let's kick this thing off, man, with just some quick introductions. I know who you guys are, obviously. I've spoken highly about your events before on previous podcasts, so why don't we kick it off? I don't care who goes first.
Yes. So I'm Jeff DeVaul. I'm with Western Hunt Fest and Pack 'em Out, and yeah.
And you guys know me, I hope. Efren Gonzalez, also Western Hunt Fest and Pack 'em Out.
Awesome. Well, let's start this thing off with Pack 'em Out. You guys obviously do Pack 'em Out apparel, super cool clothing stuff. I will say that you guys need to have more extra larges. Every event I've been to, you guys have been sold out of my size, so I don't actually own anything. But I will say that my hunting buddy bought a hat at the Western Hunt Fest, and he's not taking that thing off. It's filthy. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But like, where did that come from? Like, when did you guys kick that off? How long have you been doing it? And like, where did the idea come from?
2018, we started it, and it kind of, I guess it sprouted from a hunt I was on with. I think I had my two boys and one of my daughters with me. We were on a desert mule deer hunt, southern Arizona. I just shot a buck, and in the middle of watching my kids interact and doing what we do out there, I just kind of thought to myself, like, I need to figure something out to keep the family tradition moving and keep more people involved. So, I don't know. I just decided to do it. I don't know where it would go. Man. I don't know where it would go, if it was ever going to be anything.
Well, I think you guys have put something special together. It feels like all of your events, I feel like a family. On Instagram, like, there's this core group of people that are just supporting each other. It's really cool. I've never seen anything quite like it. So whatever you guys are doing, it's working. Who does the design work? Like, who
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Jeff is constantly in his mind. He's always sending me things, and then we kind of put them together. We'll take a crude sketch and send it off to an artist, and it becomes what it is.
Okay, so you guys aren't the artists; you're just the idea guys.
Yeah. I can't draw. I can't draw for sure.
Yeah. So. No, I think we need to see his drawing somewhere.
We're good at that. I think I believe it.
We'll put a post of one of his drawings on the Instagram. So
yeah.
Cool. Well, let's dive into like your guys' hunting backgrounds. Why don't we start with you, Jeff? Like, how long you been hunting, and
Yeah, so I grew up in a small town in southern Colorado, in Trinidad. And so my family,
the sex change capital of the world. That's off subject, but
yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I thought there's something fun.
That was
okay.
Those were both my primary care physicians too. Both of those.
Oh, no way.
Biber and Bowers. Yeah.
That's funny.
So I
always thought that was just like a rumor that's like, 'cause I lived up in northern Colorado, and it's like, oh yeah, Trinidad. This is what we know about Trinidad. But It's funny that you're there and you're like, oh, yep, validated.
Oh, dude. All the other towns in Colorado used to leave dresses and high heels in our locker rooms, and it was a good time. But yeah, growing up there, everybody hunts. Like, it's a thing.
Okay.
You know? I grew up in the town, and my family had a ranch right outside of town. So like, hunting to me was from the time I can walk. I grew up with a big family that everybody hunted. Everybody hunted deer and elk. That's it. They didn't hunt well, and small game, but they didn't hunt ducks. They didn't hunt a lot of other things, but it was deer and elk. And like deer was like, okay, that's cool. But then elk was like the big game. So like it was like the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since the time my earliest memories were hunting.
Gotcha. And you're mostly a bow hunter now, right? How long have you been bow hunting?
Yeah.
Or do you do both pretty equally?
It's about
You tell
what,
me.
2013?
2013.
No, mostly I would prefer a bow. If I could bow hunt or rifle hunt, I would choose bow for sure.
Okay.
And specifically elk, like that's my thing.
Gotcha.
Is-
Gotcha.
yeah, archery.
What turns you from rifle to archery?
This guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually,
yeah.
we
Good answer.
married sisters, and I moved to Arizona, and I was still coming back hunting elk in Colorado, and he got me into bow hunting because you could hunt OTC for deer in Arizona with a bow. So
Cool. Did you guys know each other before you married the sisters?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. So you're just like brother-in-law, best friends.
Yeah,
It's
that
cool when it works out that way.
Normally that's not the case.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. Not at all. Well, cool. Well, Efren, what about you, man?
Kind of the same as Jeff, dude. I grew up hunting. My grandfather got me started hunting as early as he could have me walking next to him. And it kind of, I don't know if you remember in Walmart, they used to have those old wooden bolt action toy guns.
Yeah.
He had me carrying one of those around for quite some years, and then he gave me a BB gun, and then I think at 12 years old, they bought me a 243.
Awesome.
I grew up outside of Albuquerque, and why he never got me involved in elk, I couldn't tell you. But we grew up deer hunting. Every year was deer hunting, as far as big game, and then my stepdad actually got me into waterfowl. So
Okay.
yes, from like 12 on, every weekend we were always out in the Rio Grande shooting ducks, geese.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I went waterfowl hunting this morning for
Did you?
it was technically the second time I've ever been, but it was the first successful time. And it was funny because first thing I did is I saw a bird look like a duck to me, so I shot it, and it was a coot. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, what is this? I was like, this isn't a duck. And so like I'm texting people, sending them pictures, being like, did I just kill like a bald eagle? What is this thing, man? Like what am I going to jail? And he's like, no, that's a coot. You can shoot 15 of them. Most people don't eat them. And I was like, all right. But I ended up killing one duck. So
yeah, it's like a carp.
2 ducks flew in, shot them both. But I walked out in the water till my waders were about an inch from taking on water. And I was like, what do? I can't get these birds. So I grabbed one of my decoys and flung it like 20 more feet up with the cord that I had and actually pulled one in. But the other one I couldn't get. So unfortunately one of the ducks got away. So that's all right. It was still a damn good time.
What kind?
Oh, the ones that have the big flat beaks.
Oh, shovelers.
Yeah, it was a female or hen shoveler. So
Yeah.
I hear they're not the tastiest, but I don't care. I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah,
so I got it marinating in soy sauce right now. So
yeah, keep it in there. Just keep it in there until you can't eat it no more. You have a dog, right?
I don't, but I got a big ass cat. So
yeah, go ahead and just boil.
We got one of those Maine Coons. It's like 40 pounds.
Oh, do you? Those are cool.
Yeah, it's a super cool cat.
Does it have a
cool? What was that?
They have cool personalities, right?
Yeah, more like a dog, which is my wife wanted another cat, and I'm like, we'll only get a cat if it's similar to a dog. So he like loves playing in snow and loves playing in water, which you wouldn't think of most cats. So
yeah.
But this has gotten off subject. So okay, cool. Yeah. Well, now we know where you guys started. Now let's talk a little bit about the Western Hunt Fest, because I brought this up, I think, probably on 3 different podcasts, because I had a hell of a good time at that event. Had to leave a little early, so I didn't get to compete in the calling contest. I would have gotten last anyways, so it's not a big deal. But why don't you guys tell us a little bit about that and like kind of maybe the plans that are coming up for 2023? Because I couldn't speak higher. Of all the events I did last year, Western Hunt Fest was number 1.
Amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had been talking about it for a really long time. Last year was our first one, but we've always wanted to do like some sort of event, and we've always had these plans. And with the name Pack 'em Out, of course we had enter that into it. But yeah, we use like the traditional 3D tournaments, and we mixed it with like an elk calling competition, and then we mixed it with the pack out challenge. But our boys are big into wrestling, and they go to these tournaments where they win these big trophies, and it's real competitive, and like it's just got this nice competitive edge to it. So we kind of like planned and intermingled them to where we can get like big trophies and have competition style, because every hunter we know is competitive.
Super competitive.
So we just wanted to bring that to the table, because a lot of the other events, like we love the other events, but they're just not. It's not
a competition.
They're either a full competition,
right,
or they're not a competition at all, and it's just fun. So we just wanted to kind of intermingle them, and then include the trophies, because like watching our boys during the wrestling, they don't care what place they take, they don't care whatever, they just like the trophies. Like the first thing they look at is the trophies, and we're all the same people, just a grown up version of them. So that's kind of how we developed it. But yeah,
that's cool. I take a lot of pride in your event, because at one point I was in first place in both the archery competition, because I turned in my record first.
That is hilarious.
I beat my group, so I was in first place for probably about 15 minutes. I think maybe 3 or 4 of the other groups turned in. I was still in first. I ended up not even getting close. And the duos pack out challenge, we were the first duo to finish. So again, I was first there for a little while too. So I was pretty proud of myself. And we finished second, right? But granted, there were only 3 teams, but that's not important.
Yeah. That's great.
But you guys had some monsters in that pack out challenge. The duo, there was one team, the team that won first, they did it in one trip. That was insane.
That's the Pansy brothers.
Yeah. I've been following them on Instagram. Yeah, I do. And they're just like every other week packing out 5 bulls. It's
crazy. Those guys are crazy.
Insane. And then Lucas, who won the solo pack out, he did it by himself faster than me and my partner did it with the 2 of us.
Dude,
which is crazy. Yeah.
And he's tiny. I was shocked.
Yeah. He was he actually, him and I have stayed in touch. He was part of my shooting group. So him and I talk all the time. So that guy couldn't be nicer, but an absolute monster. So it was a fun event, man. I'm really glad you guys threw it on. What are your plans for 23? I know. Well, actually, let's talk about this real quick. The archery, the competition, and all that. But you have trick shots. Well, maybe not trick shots, but like skill shots. Yeah. Go into that a little bit.
Yeah. So you want to?
No, go for it.
Yeah. So we another thing with the 3D events, like we love 3D archery, but every time we go 3D, we end up making like little shots for ourselves. Like we'll challenge each other, like hold or get on your knees, or that would be cool if we did this, yada, yada, yada. So we just wanted to implement that and use like real life hunting scenarios into our shots to just add a little more. Because the whole basis for Western Hunt Fest is to get people ready for the hunt and make sure they're ready. So we just wanted to add like little pieces to the shot, each shot. We only did 5 last year, but this year we're going to implement, I think, every target. So,
oh wow, I'm surprised you have that many ideas.
Well, there's a lot of people out there giving some crazy ideas, like you.
Yeah,
I think you were the one that
apple off the head.
Yeah,
maybe get like a foam apple and put it on top of a Sasquatch or something. But
right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You and another guy, like 5 minutes apart, had the same idea.
Well, it's like the stereotypical like archery shot, right?
Right.
And so I also know that you guys are maybe expanding. Is that happening in 23, or is that maybe 24 or farther out?
We're hoping for 23. We've got a meeting at a New Mexico venue on the 10th. So they sound extremely interested. Kind of to the point where the guy just said, yes, let's set up a meeting where this is something we want to get behind. So hopefully it all comes through and we'll be able to have a Colorado belt and a New Mexico belt.
Oh, there you go. Yep. And then like eventually you'll get to like 5 or 6 different states and then have like a championship where all the belts come together.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we've gone more in depth there than we normally do, but I think it was worth the time because, like I said, your event was awesome. If you're in Colorado or New Mexico, check them out. Make sure you attend next year. But yeah, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what we do here. Let's tell some stories.
Yeah.
So I know you guys, at least your team, your family, has had a very successful year, and you guys wanted to tell some stories about some of the young ones, and then how they've been putting down some monsters this year. So I don't know who wants to go first, but just kick it off. Just tell us,
Yeah, I'll jump in it. I'll jump in it because I guess I got a lot to brag about.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, myself personally, this past season was a bust. The only tag I filled was my muzzleloader doe. But my daughters, I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and I've got two 13-year-old twin daughters. Between the three girls, they put down 5 antelope in what, a week?
Days.
A week? Oh no, four antelope. The fifth one's mine. But yeah, my newest daughter to the sport, she recently, right before the secondary draw, she kind of threw it at me. She's like, "Hey, Dad, would you mind if I started hunting?" I'm like, "No, not at all. Let's see what we can do."
Yeah, go right ahead.
We put her in for the secondary, and she drew first rifle antelope buck, second rifle mule deer buck, and she drew first rifle bull.
Wow.
So, yeah, all in pretty decent areas. So come antelope, we get her out there, and she hit her antelope at about 300 yards. She hit him twice. And
wow.
Yeah, so proud dad moment. Definitely a decent buck. It was a 60-inch buck for her. I mean, she's 13 years old, so
yeah.
I think we scored mine from last year at 61. So dad's still winning somehow.
That's important, right?
But yeah, man, it was cool. That was it was all like one day in between. So she shot that one, and then her twin sister, she drew first rifle buck, and then she drew the B list doe tag for the same place. So we got her out there, and dude, we took off right after school, and we get her out there on the herd, shot the buck out of the herd. We pushed them. After that, they bombed out. So we drove around the whole entire state wildlife area. We come around the backside of it, and we get back on the same herd again. And within an hour, I think she shot one at 5:30, one at 6:30. She got her doe. Yeah. It was cool, man.
I didn't know hunting was so easy. Jeez.
Right?
Yeah, she won up to her sister.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. I've been doing
rifle hunting. You say you didn't know hunting was so easy. We were just talking about like rifle hunting and bow hunting. There's that big thing like, oh, rifle hunting or bow hunting is easy. Rifle hunting is easy. It's like, I mean, with the rifle, it is pretty. It's a lot easier than with the bow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm about to go on a rifle hunt. I'll let you know how it goes because. I don't believe it's that easy until I've actually finished it. So we'll see.
Yeah, neither one's easy. Well, it depends on where you're at.
Man, what's funny is I have people on here telling me stories, and they're like, "Yeah, people always just say that I'm lucky with hunting," and I'm like, "Man, I would kill for some of that luck because that is not how my hunting career has gone. I don't know why I'm in love with this sport because I suck at it." So.
Yeah, I'm not doing so hot myself either, but it's all good.
Yeah, still fun. It's nice to get out there. And it's awesome to get out there with your kids, man. I have a 3-year-old and almost 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And my 3-year-old little boy just loves the idea of me hunting. Like, he'll walk up to me just out of the blue and whisper in my ears, like, "Dad, we have to kill the elk so we can eat it." And I'm like, "Yes." I was like, "If only you were that easy, little man." I was like, so like my hunting career at this point, I'm not going to be a Remy Warren. I'm not going to be one of those guys that just like drops monsters every season. My goal is to learn enough so that my kids can get there because, I'm struggling through it.
That's what it's all about too, is teaching these little guys and little girls what we do and why we're doing it and getting them to the point where they can do the same for their kids.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a first generation hunter. So like I didn't learn from anyone. So I'm struggling through it myself. So don't want my kids to have to do that because it's hard, but hopefully I can teach them a thing or two in the next, decade of learning before they can actually get out there and hunt themselves.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Definitely.
We'll see.
For sure.
But
Yes.
I don't know. Did I cut you off? Do you have more about the
Then I have my
50 animals your daughter's put down?
Oh, there's more.
There's still
Yeah, I
plenty more
know.
bloodshed.
I know.
Yeah,
Still, you're probably still packing them up and processing them because you got too many.
yeah, it was lengthy. I do it on myself too, and I'm not shy about hanging them in my front yard. So I string them up in the front yard, and I'm doing my thing, and I always have people walk by and kind of give me the eyeball or a couple
Yeah,
people.
I hear about people in the Midwest putting them on like basketball hoops in the front yard and stuff like
if
that.
If I had a basketball hoop, it'd be done.
Both of our trees have rope hanging from them.
Awesome.
And we live in the neighborhoods.
Yeah. So yeah, my first daughter, she shot that buck. 2 days later, her sister shoots the buck and the doe, and then 2 days after that, we get back out in the same exact area again. And my youngest daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, she shot a doe. Her first antelope. She killed a calf back in 2020 in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't her first big game animal, but definitely her first antelope. So that was fun. That kind of capped off our antelope season, though. So
yeah,
we got 5 down in the household, 4 from 13 and under.
Gosh, that's crazy. And they tagged out on more than just antelope too, right?
Yeah, the twin that shot the buck first, she recently killed that bull.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, dude. I went into that thinking like, oh, dude, because I had a couple people that were saying like, oh, we'll try to come out, and then I was thinking in my head like, dude, how cool would that be? How cool would the story be if me and my 13-year-old daughter packed this bull off a mountain by ourselves?
Yeah.
I guess you ask for it enough.
Yeah. About halfway through that pack out, you're like, man, I wish I hadn't wished for this right now.
Yeah, dude, I was so pumped up I was all pumped up on adrenaline. I threw a front, a rear, an entire meat bag, like all from I think the left side of the animal. She grabbed the front, and that was our first trip out. And I'm like, dude, we got this all day.
Yeah, that's awesome. How deep in were you?
Not far at all. Not far.
Okay.
Maybe a quarter mile.
Okay, that's not bad. But still,
the area we were at.
That's a good heavy bag, though.
Yeah, right where we were at. I mean, it's like you couldn't walk a half mile without finding another road anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there's roads all over that place.
That's awesome. I didn't know elk hung out near all those roads. I think I need to start hunting roads more often. The only elk I've ever killed died like 40 yards from a road. So like we ended up pulling it down this hill right into the truck bed. Just slid it right in. So no pack out. So I'm right now the only pack out I've ever done is your event. So which I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys. Like I was terrified of doing it because I've never done anything like that. But it was good. About halfway through, I was like, why am I doing this? Why did I sign up for this shit? But when I finished, it felt great.
I would say I'm pretty terrified to do it myself, and I just keep using the excuse that I can't win my own competition. So,
yeah, it's easy with
next year. You and your daughter, right?
Yeah, I'm down. We need a father-child event.
Yeah,
I like.
There you go. Put it on like Father's Day or Mother's Day or something like that, and have like a daddy-daughter, daddy-son pack-out challenge. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be.
Yeah, we ended up doing that bull in 2 trips. So that first trip she did a front, the last trip she did the head, and I did everything else.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. So how many more animals did your family put down? Do we have more that we need to hear about, or is that about?
It's about to be a big buck.
Yeah, we're going in the morning. We're gonna run out in the morning and try to pick up this buck. She missed a freaking monster the other day. And she's probably upstairs listening to me talk about it, and she's gonna get pissed, but it's all good. By far, so she shot that antelope was at 300. She shot her elk at what I ended up ranging was 450. And then she missed this freaking monster at like 150.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, I'll try to make an excuse. She's probably coming right now. I'll probably try to make an excuse and tell you it was this or that. But in all reality, she is a good shot. But there she is. She got a little bit of trigger anxiety. She hit herself with the scope during her elk hunt. So the next shot she's taken was at this buck. So that
makes total sense.
Yeah. And me personally, with a tag in hand, I've never seen a buck this big. So that didn't help it. I was anxious. I'm sure she was anxious. I caught myself yelling, shoot him, like literally yelling at her. So sorry.
And the poor thing is she got scope. Now her nose looks like this. So
oh, dang.
I'm just kidding. She's listening, so
she's sitting here staring at us. Yeah,
that's funny, man.
We're gonna try to go back and find him. He didn't do the bomb out of the country type of run, so I think he'll be back on the same hillside. We'll find him. We'll hopefully get another shot at him.
How much longer is that season? How many more days you got?
It ends on Sunday, man.
Okay, we'll get out there.
Yeah, we're gonna go tomorrow, and if it doesn't happen tomorrow morning, our boys are wrestling tomorrow afternoon. So then Sunday we'll go after it one last try.
Nice. Well, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We're staying on this side of the house. Do you got any more for us as far as the kids?
As far as the kids go, man, that's it. I've got stuff coming up out of state, but we're all pretty much done in my household.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Well then, Jeff, what do you got, man? What stories do you have for us?
So this season I had a bunch of tags and I struck out on all of them. I put all my eggs in the elk basket and
sounds familiar.
But yeah, no, I had a great season. I was being picky. I shot a giant in no man's land and just he didn't die, and I ended up having a crazy season. But it was cool. I probably heard 2,000 bugles.
No way.
Hundreds of bulls. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was hunting.
That's amazing. You want to tell us a story about the bull? I know that I've had lots of guys tell stories about missing bulls on this podcast, but if you want to tell that story or go into any of the ones for your kids, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, I could tell it real quick. So, I was hunting Texas, OTC. First off, anybody who's listening. No, just kidding. Yeah, so we had been hunting. We'll just call it Elk Disneyland.
Yeah,
and we had been
actually. I'm gonna stop you real quick, just because you brought something up that reminded me. I have a buddy who's hunting Aoudad in Texas, like 3 hours west of San Antonio, last weekend, and he heard an elk bugle, and he was like, "Let's go after it." So they have a pretty big ranch that they were hunting, but they're free range there, right? They're exotics basically, so you can hunt them anywhere, anytime, no rules, no regulations. Yeah. So I mean, granted, there aren't very many. So what probably happened is somebody with a high fence had a elk could get out or something like that, or maybe it was his neighbor's elk or something like that. But yeah, they have them there. So
did he get
it's
it?
not even over the counter. No, he never saw it. But it's pretty cool to be South Central Texas and hear an elk bugle.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good. Yeah, you're good. So yeah, we had been hunting hard. At this point, I had drawn back on a couple elk. I had passed up on numerous opportunities. Like, it was good, but I had been hunting this drainage, and above the drainage, the elk were always coming from there, and there was always a lot of bugles up there, but there were elk where I was at, so I had no need to go up there. Well, I finally made my way up there, and I get to the top of this bench and I just hear the most crazy rut action I had ever heard in my life. I mean, I hear screaming from, like, I don't even know how many different bulls, but a bunch of bulls. And they were just up and over from me, and the wind was perfect. So I kind of moved in, and I got probably within 120 yards. They were fighting. They were everywhere. There was a giant herd of cows with all these different bulls. 4 or 5 really big bulls, but 2 monsters. And they were literally fighting. At one point, the big bull was on the cow, and another big bull came and knocked him off, hit the cow. I'd never seen anything like it. I thought he was going to die. I was like, oh, I'm going to go put my tag on this thing. Like, I had so much buck fever for like this extended, like, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. But anyway, I was just watching the herd. I kept getting close, but the wind would like kind of shift, so I kind of back off, and then I would come back in. Well, I ended up about 45 yards from them. When the one bull rammed the other bull off, I ended up about 45 yards. I couldn't get a shot. Well, the wind was kind of getting a little weird, but it was still fine. Well, I'm getting ready to take a shot, and a bull runs right next to me, right by me. A little satellite bull.
Like 5 yards, 10 yards?
Probably at most 15. Absolutely.
Okay.
Like,
Gotcha.
scared me. Like, I was even like, oh, whoa, what the heck is that? But he ran by me with his nose in the air, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is done. So he busts him out. Well, the whole herd runs out, and the big bull stops in just this little opening. It's a burn too, so like you can see forever, but you can't get a shot because they're standing burned timber. So he was so big, dude. I had a clear opening, and I'm overly confident sometimes with my shots. Well, I took a gusto, and I stuck a tree, shattered my arrow. He ran off, and as he ran off, he was just screaming. The other bulls screaming. They ran off, and I saw them stop just down below, but then they like kind of moved down to the right. So I backed off. I called all these guys like, I saw the most amazing thing, blah, 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 blah. So I circled the entire mountain just to find the elk in the same exact spot, like within 100 yards of it. Circled the entire mountain.
You're just basically trailing them the whole time, right? So they circled the mountain as well and went right back?
Well, I think they stayed. And
okay.
the wind got ugly, so I wanted to get away anyway. So I kind of went away, and then I circled the mountain. Well, I came back, and they were in the same spot, so I creeped up to them. Right before I found them in the same spot, I blew a bull out, and I thought for sure I had ruined my setup. But anyway, he ran off, and then in the distance I could hear the bugles again, and I could tell it was him. He was just a dinosaur. So I came up, and I was on a bench. The cows were on the side of a hill, and it benched out at the bottom, and they were at the bottom, or he was at the bottom with a few cows. There were a few bulls up with the cows, kind of on the side hill. Well, I was probably, 20 yards from the cows, and the wind was perfect for a while. I had sat there probably a good 30, 40 minutes. The wind was good. Well, the wind started to shift towards them, and it was like sucking down the hill, but it was still further down to where they could smell it. But I could tell that the wind was going to start moving because a little storm had started to come. So I got up, I moved in. I knew I was going to get busted by the cows, but I kind of had a good idea of where the bull was. So I got up, I got into position, and the couple cows ran off a little bit. They kind of like saw something, but they didn't know what it was. They ran off a little bit. The bull kind of ran straight into my path. He was with a cow, and I ranged him, and he was 45 yards. So this guy, he takes a couple steps and mounts a cow. He like goes to jump on the cow, and he's broadside, just straight down. Well, to be honest, I had buck fever real bad, so I dialed to 48. I drew back, dude, and I shot, and it like, like when you hit an animal, you hear that. Or
I actually don't, because I've never shot.
Okay, well,
I mean, I'll tell you, a turkey doesn't make that noise. I've killed some turkeys with my bow. But go ahead and share this wonderful noise that you're familiar with.
Well, yeah, it makes this noise, right?
Yeah.
And then when I shot, I didn't hear anything. The arrow looked high. It looked perfect in line, but I didn't hear anything. And I'm like, I don't know. And it was an old burn. So if I missed, you would have heard boom, 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 boom. I heard nothing. So I was like, I kind of figured I hit him, but I didn't know where I hit him. So I ran down the hill. The bull runs off to the right. I get down to where he was at, and that joker comes running across the front, right in front of me again, this time at 60 yards. So, and he was with a bunch of cows. Well, I kept like yelling cow sounds at him. I finally barked at him, and he stopped. And when he stopped, I took a shot, and I hit a branch. And that was it. There was no blood.
Do you think that first shot maybe hit like shoulder blade or something?
So it hit. So I actually, right after that, I ran into two guys that were hunting them from the bottom.
Okay.
Well, those two guys, I had talked to them throughout the season, and one of them actually saw the bull later. And it was exactly in line with the vitals, but just like 3 to 5 inches down from the spine. But yeah, he was still.
I've heard there's a no man's land there. Who knows if that actually exists? But there's just like a spot that's not going to do much damage, and it's just going to kind of shoot through.
Yep. So my arrow had streaks, like the tiniest streaks of blood, and this like greasy, like shiny film all throughout my whole arrow. But it was a clean pass through. So, yeah, and
That's a shame.
I guess he had blood like halfway down his body, but that was it. Anyway, he was still running.
They're tough animals, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Just have an arrow blast through basically right next to your spine, and keep trucking.
I was trying to charge him for the piercing job I gave him, but I never got to collect. But yeah, the last day of season, I had him probably, I would say, at about 60 yards, and I was in good position. I was pegged down by some cows and bulls in front of me, and he was off to he was on my level, but to the right, and there was a game trail leading right to me, and he was on it. He was fighting another bull right there. Everything was perfect, and then all of a sudden, they split, dude. Hundreds of elk split. Sounded like a damn stampede, dude. Like it was the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And my wind, I checked my wind religiously. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing they winded me because it swirls in there a lot. But I don't
Maybe
know.
Another hunter. Who knows? Yeah.
Right. My buddy
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, my buddy was down below, and they ran right through him. Like he was just off into the just a little bit lower, and they ran right through him. And yeah, just never got a shot. But it was the most amazing season ever. At that point, when I was pegged down, I could have taken a somewhat decent bull, and I didn't do it. And after I got busted, I'm like, oh, I should have shot. And then I'm like, no, I'm good. Like it was a crazy season. But yeah, the season was
as long as you enjoyed it, right? Like that's I would kill to just have a season where I didn't kill anything, but I had hundreds of bulls around me bugling every day I went out. That'd be amazing. Yeah. So
he went one time with me. And it was
Disneyland.
I thought for sure.
This is over the counter?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I'll tell you. He went one day with me, and
after the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. I thought for sure when he would go that there were going to be no elk, and I thought it was going to be horrible. Well, he shows up, and we go up on this hill, we bugle, and then boom, and then we were getting ready to go, and then boom, boom, and then it never disappointed. We saw bulls in the distance.
What was the time frame that you were in there? It was the beginning of September, peak rut, like mid
the whole damn month.
Yeah. and let's just say that there was a few days that were slower, meaning that I didn't hear 1,000 bugles in the day. But,
Jesus.
No, it was crazy. I literally heard a bugle from September 1st through the very last day. They were bugling the whole time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I heard. I obviously had a short season. I only heard one bull bugling. But he actually didn't even bugle. He was just like, that's all he would do. It was the craziest thing. He just sounded like he was wide. He just sounded like a big boy. So it was a pretty cool experience. Other than the fact that my leg ended up basically falling off and I had to leave the woods. So
yeah, dang. Yeah. But yeah, that was my archery season. It was amazing. But yeah, I didn't end up practicing. But yeah, the story I wanted to share is 4 years ago now? My boys were 5.
Yeah, I've been here 2, so about
3 years ago. Yeah, so I have twin boys. They're 7 now. So yeah, 2 years ago, I had taken them a lot on the OTC hunts with me, and they it was the last day of season, and
you were taking your 5-year-olds with you? Is that right? Is that what I'm hearing right?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I can't imagine taking my little guy with me.
Yeah. He takes 2 of them.
Oh, and they're rambunctious. Like I literally took them.
Archery hunting? Are we talking archery?
Archery, yeah. And I took them so that it was the last day of season. I had no hope. I had no expectations to kill. I was just like, I'm going to take the boys out hunting with me. I had taken them out a couple times and they really wanted to go again. So I had taken them out to this area that I didn't have a lot of hope in. I've seen the elk there. We had some close encounters there, but it was last day. It was kind of just one of those fun trips. Anyway, we're sitting by this water hole, and the boys at this point were pretty decent buglers. So they're like, "Let me call in an elk." You know,
You're like, sure, buddy.
Yeah, like, go on, go for it. Well, we just walked down this little road, and we're bugling, and we stop at this one spot, and one of the boys, I can't remember which one, bugles, and the other one says, I heard one. And he like runs up all excited. Well, I thought he was just, sometimes you hear things. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like, well then call to him. And then I said, and you rake. So one boy is raking and the other one's calling. Well, I let that go on. I take a cute little video, and then I hear a freaking bugle, and I'm like, no way, dude. These dudes just called in a bull. So I could hear it just down the drainage from us. There's a little creek. So I get a little crazy, and I drag them all the way down the little creek through some trees, and I pop out too early, and the bull, and I think it was like 5 cows, were coming up towards us. They were coming up our way, and I popped them out. I'm dragging the boys down. Come on, we gotta go on. If I would have just chilled, we probably would have called it right in, but I ruined it. But it was like the coolest thing. We have a video.
Can't imagine, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, the video is really cool. My boy used some choice language in the video. You can't really tell.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old just learned some choice language, and we're like, how do we get him to stop? Like, he just loves dropping the F-bomb. It's just
yeah.
Stop laughing.
Yeah, well, yeah, I tell that to his mother. I'm good at keeping it together, but my wife thinks it's hilarious. So I think we have a problem.
Yeah, I'll one of these days I'll post the video. It's pretty funny.
It's on my page.
Yeah.
Too.
But yeah, I ruined it for him. But yeah, then the year after that, I took them elk hunting. I have the boys with me. I find the elk. Efren and his wife show up. Me and his wife bomb in the canyon. We go and kill a cow, and the boys got to help us pack it out on that one. So it was pretty cool. They were 6 years old at that. Well, probably still about 5. It was they had just turned 5 the year of the video, so they were 6.
That's so crazy. Just imagining like turning a corner and seeing a dude with like 2 little 3-foot hunters with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then
I've been thinking about when I'm going to get my boy out there. I didn't even comprehend the idea of 5. I was like, well, maybe like 10 something. I'll get him out there. Maybe antelope hunting at like 7 or something, where you just sit in the car while we try and struggle through the desert. But that's cool, man.
Well, I remember when we were kids, my uncles used to take us. My grandpa, my uncles, my stepdad, all of them would take us when we were little kids. And there were a bunch of boys. So I have an older brother that's 2 years older than me. I have a cousin that's a month older than me. And then I have a little cousin that's like 2 years younger than me. And we always went hunting with our uncles, with our grandpa. And like literally the whole time we're throwing rocks at him. And like he's like, we're throwing stuff down his hoodie, farting, laughing. And he's like, shut up. So like I kind of already knew what to expect by taking them. But they're like the good luck charms. What was it, like 2 weeks later? Not even a week later, a few days later, after the cow, I took my twins and Sonny, his boy that was, 7?
Yeah.
I took all 3 of them out on a deer hunt, and I ended up smoking a deer. We were driving up. I had a spot in mind that I wanted to go check out. Well, as we were driving up, I see 2 pretty good bucks right off the road. So I there's literally like just a tiny little spot to park in. I tell the boys, stay in the truck. I'll be right back. I'm like, there's a deer. It's right there. Can you see it? They're watching it. I jump out of the truck. I run off the road. I get to like this one spot that looks legal. I don't have a shot. So then I run up a little ways closer to the deer while the bigger buck runs off, while the other buck, which is a pretty decent 4x4, is just standing there. I shoot him, and he literally turns and he runs straight towards me. I shot him with an Illuminoc, and there's a red glow running straight towards me, turns and runs straight at my Jeep and falls dead right in front of the boys. Well, it didn't fall dead. It falls right in front of the boys, and it's lifting its head. At this point, the boys are out of the Jeep, like just watching in awe, yelling, "Shoot him again! Shoot him again!" So I'm
I
like,
just imagine the chaos.
dude, I was like, did I just ruin them? Like,
Yeah.
and these savages are like, shoot him again, like, and this deer's like making these noises. It was horrible, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was cool because they were like my little good luck charms, and this year,
Yeah, man.
I didn't
They
take
come
them.
hunting with me.
Yeah,
I think jeez, those are amazing stories, guys.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to think about bringing my kid out next year, I guess.
Oh, it's fun,
Something
man. Where it's
I gotta
at.
change something.
Yeah, my biggest thing with the boys, because boys, they like to fiddle and touch and play with things. With my boys, I let them collect rocks. I let them play with plants. I let them bugle. I let them like do whatever they want when they go, so that they stay entertained. They really like the idea of waking up in the night. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, so
that's cool.
yeah, this year I've only taken them duck hunting once, and that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't take them elk hunting at all this year, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Well, that's cool. Well, that's awesome. Do you guys have more stories? I have one request if you could think of one off the top of your head, but any other ones that you planned on telling?
Not off the top of my head.
Your waiter story about the ducks.
Yeah.
So was it last year?
When?
The last day of the season, where I ran in without waiters?
Oh no, that was 2 years. That was two
years
seasons
ago.
Yeah, we went out 2 seasons ago for our final duck hunt for the year, and dude, we had a phenomenal morning. It was just like wave after wave. Like you'd get like 5 or 6 ducks would fly through. We'd take a couple. 5 or 6 ducks would come through. It was just like constant, boom, boom.
That's awesome.
Snowy, cold.
I think what was it? It was
like
0 degree.
yeah, it was stupid.
It was something crazy. Yeah,
something stupid. Snowing, cold, ice chunks floating down the river, like
horrible.
Perfect for ducks. It was great.
Yeah.
And this guy, he decided to not wear waders that day. He's like, "Can you be dog?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever, I'll do it."
Dude, my waders sucked though. I was using fishing waders, and dude, this guy kept dragging me out in these below 0 degrees. So I was like, dude, if I go, I'm literally not gonna wear waders. I'm just gonna wear like warm hunting clothes, right?
Yeah.
So this guy shoots a duck, and it's upstream. Well, as he's upstream, I pop one as they're coming. Or no, we both popped one.
Yeah.
He went upstream to go get one. The other one, I'm like, okay, I can get it with a stick or whatever, Well, it's floating down the river, and he's gone. Like I have no bird dog, so so he's gone. This duck is coming down the river, dude, and I'm like, it's getting to the point to where like it's about to take off. So like you, I'm like trying to think of things. I'm grabbing sticks.
Yeah.
Finally, dude, I just said, screw it, dude. And I just ran in the river, bro.
How quickly did you go? This was a dumb idea.
Dude, his clothes froze.
Immediately. I was like, oh, why did I do this? Like, this is bad, bro. I get out of the water, and my pants are sheets of ice. Like, I touch them, and they crumble like the shape of my pants of ice. My feet are completely soaked, and I'm like, yeah, we got to go, bro. Like, we're done. We were tagged out though, so it was like it was the final.
How deep did you get? How deep did you get? Like just like knees, waist?
About thigh.
Okay. Ugh.
Once I got in there, I was like, well, I have to go. Like I thought this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, but I'm already here, so
yeah, I've already made that decision. Time to keep going.
Yeah, so he came back and he's like, "You went in the water, dude." I'm like, "What you gotta do?"
Well, that's funny. It's like you read my mind, man. My request for the next story was going to be like one of you telling a story about the other one being an idiot, because I've got 2 people on here, and you guys just gave me one for free. Like I didn't even have to ask for my request. So I think we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Any other cool stories come to mind? Otherwise, you've given me plenty.
I'm sure we could. Yeah, I'm sure we could think of other ones, but
Yeah, we got plenty, but the kids are where it's at for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, guys, this has been fun. At this point, we usually kind of reiterate where the people can find you. So I don't know if one of you wants to kind of take that on, let them know your Instagram, your webpage, etc. And I'll make sure that all that stuff's also in the show notes. But yeah, let the people know where they can find you guys and check out, your apparel and what you guys are up to.
Yeah, do the pack 'em out. I'll do that.
So with Pack 'em Out, we are on Instagram at Pack 'em Out Apparel. Facebook, I believe, is Pack 'em Out. If you're in Colorado Springs, we are upstairs in the archery department. You can find our apparel line. Website, Pack 'em Out Apparel. Is it Pack 'em Out Apparel? No, it's just Pack 'em Out.
Pack 'em Out,
It's
yeah,
Pack 'em
Pack
Out.
'em
Yeah,
Out.
I get confused. It's packemout.com. You're running a whole bunch of different businesses. But yeah, that's pretty. Oh yeah, we are in Archery School of the Rockies down in South Springs as well.
Cool.
So if you're ever in North Springs, it's over at Shields, and you can find the apparel line down in South Springs at Archery School.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
And then as far as the Western Hunt Fest, we have an Instagram page. It's at Western Hunt Fest. And then we just uploaded a website, which is westernhuntfest.com. So we're still doing work to it, but it at least has like the registration has a few pictures and whatnot. But yeah, we'll be our first event, hopefully not our last for the year, is June 24th and 25th.
Yep.
In Bailey,
Okay.
Colorado. Same place.
So if I'm out earlier this year, then last year it was August.
Last year, yeah, it was August 13th, and it was, like you had said, like we've always wanted to do it, but it was a spur of the moment. Yeah, screw it, let's try it. And that's what Scott had available up there at American Bowman. So we took what we could get.
Beautiful venue.
And it was a great venue. We had a great turnout. The event was, I think, a lot better than we had thought it was going to be. But we, as a whole, we all kind of decided like it definitely has to be a 2-day, and it definitely has to be a lot earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I rolled straight from there to archery season. Ran down to La Junta, Colorado, and struck out for a couple days. So that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That was our biggest feedback for the event was the timing. A lot of guys didn't want to try the pack out because it was
too close to season.
Right there. Antelope season started then 2 days later, and then archery
well, whatever excuses they needed.
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no reason not to do it, right? So, cool, guys. This was fun. Thank you very much. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get this thing scheduled, but I appreciate you guys working with me, coming on and telling some awesome stories. So thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys again soon. All right, guys. That's it. Another couple stories in the books. I want to send a thank you to the Pack 'em Out boys, of course, for coming on and sharing their stories. And I want to thank you guys, the listeners. Now, if you could, please go check them out. Check out Pack 'em Out. Go to their Instagram, go to their website, Pack 'em Out Apparel. I've got links to everything in the show notes, so it's all right there. Check out the Western Hunt Fest, like I said, and I've said multiple times before, it's the most fun event that I've done all year. Hoping that I'm going to be able to attend again this year. Other than that, the podcast, share it, like it, subscribe. If you know people that have good stories, connect us with them on our Instagram. We're looking to grow, and the only way we can do that is word of mouth. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you again to the Pack 'em Out boys. And now, as usual, go make some stories of your own.